So my lovely husband proposed in the Atlas Mountains. Oh, it was lovely, and I wasn't expecting it. The ring was really pretty. It was like an antique ring.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
You didn't have any idea he was going to propose to you?
No.
Right, OK, so only one person's asked me to marry them, which is kind of unbelievable. But I knew he was going to ask me to marry him because he said, like, what size is your ring finger? And I was like, oh, you're going to ask me to marry you? And he said, no, I want to see if it'll fit on my bumhole. And it did, yeah.
And it did?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
We went to a nearby hotel. We had some drinks. Somehow we got back to Marrakesh.
And you're now in Marrakesh.
Marrakesh.
Oh, that's nice.
You're now in Marrakesh. Lovely.
So we got shit-faced. And then, on the way back to the Riyadh, I realised that beautiful antique ring was no longer on finger.
Oh, no. Oh, that makes me itchy.
So I thought, well, if I sit to my hand, he won't know. So went to bed. In the morning, we went down for a day out.
Yeah.
And I was getting a bit sweaty now because it was going to become obvious and he was any minute going to say, where's that ring? And the woman at reception said, are you missing something? And I was like, no. 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 And she was like, are you sure? I was like, she's like, oh, because a taxi driver brought in this ring and said it was yours. There
Oh, you got it.
And
that's a great story.
but, oh my goodness, the mini row over brunch.
Oh, wow.
I love the idea it was a mini row.
Yeah, because we just got engaged. Now we would be a massive, like, divorce. I need to apologise to Stuart, who was a contestant on a show called La Bamba.
Hang on, is that a sort of precursor to Love Island?
So, similar, right? So it was my first presenting job. And I'd convinced my best friend to be a contestant because the prize was a holiday to Mexico. And I said, if you win and hook up with a bloke, then maybe I can also come as the host. We'll ditch him. We have a holiday. So my friend, Kat, she was like, oh, all right then, I've got nothing to do. So she comes, she's amazing, and she's got a brilliant personality, and she wins.
Oh, well done, Kat.
And she wins
Lovely.
with Stuart. And then they say, right, Al, you can go to Mexico as long as you film how they got on. So off we went to Mexico, me, Kat and Stuart, and basically it was really hot. And there was a function on the camera, which there was just this sun that kept appearing. Basically, the camera's overheated, I think. I thought, well, there's nothing I can do. Sorry, can't film anymore. So they had 3 seconds of dancing. That was it. Anyway, we went to a nightclub in Cancun, and these men said to me and my friend, come on, girls, you go and dance on the podium. And we were like, no, thank you. We're just from Wales, shut up. And they were like, if you dance on the podium, we'll buy you some drinks. We were like, all right, then. So,
straight up.
And then it got a bit creepy. So we thought, this is not for us. So we pushed on a door, which was a fire escape, and the fire escape went into a shopping centre, which was attached to the nightclub, where we spent the night because the shopping centre was closed. And we never saw Stuart again.
What a story.
Go back 8 or 9 years. Let's picture Paul McKenna. And he said, I want to hypnotise you, but I want to do it as a pre-record so that then we can play it out on the show and then you can react to seeing yourself hypnotised.
Great.
I thought, cool, that's brilliant, all right. And he started his, hypnotic banter. 10, 9. Anyway, when we got to one, I thought, oh, I'm not hypnotised. So instead, in a split second, I made the decision to go with it.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he started asking me to do all these things.
In this day and age, you're going to have to be more specific.
So he said, now then, you are a gardener. The next thing I know, I am then getting up out of my chair with my eyes closed and being a gardener. And I thought, well, all right, fine, that'll be the end of that. No. You have now won the Grand National.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Here
God.
we go.
Oh, Alex. Oh, no.
Right, off she goes. And I knew exactly what was going on. But it was too late. I was in too deep. You know, I said I just didn't want to be impolite.
Women do a lot of things because they don't want to be rude.
Thank you, Lou.
That's why I've got 3 kids. They're all Paul McGannas.
And so then I had to go through the whole thing of pulling me out of the trance, lie down again, and back in the room. Oh, God, what happened? The live show that evening, they play in the footage back to me. And there I was in a box having to react. I was like, oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh. And then afterwards, I had to tell my editor. I wasn't hypnotised then. He was like, oh my God, BBC guidelines, you've lied.
Oh, shit. I mean, well done, though, for just blooming seeing it through.